All right, good morning. It is Saturday morning. We are getting a little late start here, but we are going to be diving right in to this week's episode. We have got a lot, or this Saturday's Facebook Live session, we have got a lot to cover, and we're going to be looking at a few things this week. First, we're going to be talking about Friday's box office results. Then we're going to go ahead and take a look at 3 non-spoiler movie reviews. Plus, we're going to talk a little Sundance, and Star Wars is still making the news in a big way. So go ahead and hang on, everybody. We are going to give everybody a second to log in. This is Brunansky's vlog on Facebook. Give me 1 second, and then we will get rocking and
Good morning.
rolling.
Good morning. Good morning.
It is Saturday morning. This is Brunansky's vlog. Good morning. It's Monday morning.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeremy Brunansky with Brunansky's Vlog.
I've got my iced tea. I've got my iced tea. I've got my iced tea here. I've got the box office report from this weekend. And let's go ahead and take a look at one news story then that dropped this morning. We are live right now. We are going to cover Friday's box office. So for this weekend's box office, on these Facebook Live sessions, we do like to cover the weekend box office. So what does that mean? That means that this is pretty impressive, as you'll hear in a minute. And I'm not going to give any spoilers, so don't worry. In theory, that film should have done gangbusters. This movie is so much fun. I think the rewatchability factor is super high. Wow, this was actually a fun time. I'm on board. Sign me up. Game over. If you're watching this on replay, thank you. All right, let's just get into it. Number 5, number 4, number 3, number 2, and number 1. All right, we are back. Not sure why that popped up so quickly, but hey, that's all right. We are back. We are ready to rock and roll. There we go. Everything looks good now. We got more slides to show you later. Spoiler alert, if you are watching that live right now, you just got a little bit of a sneak peek of what's to come. So hang on tight because we are ready to rock and roll. First thing we're going to go ahead and take a look at, as we do on this show, every Saturday morning and Monday morning, we like to take a look at the box office. Obviously, for Saturday, we're just reviewing Friday's box office and some sneak preview Thursday night showings. And then on Monday's show, we like to go ahead and take a look at the weekend box office so we can see what everybody was out there watching over the weekend at their local cinema house. So let's go ahead and dive into that. On this show, we always go from number 5 to number 1, and then we'll take a little bit deeper look into kind of what that could mean as far as movies are concerned. Then after that, we're going to go ahead and jump right into 3 non-spoiler reviews for movies that I have seen that are going to be posted on Monday's episode. So on YouTube, Brunansky's vlog on YouTube. 3 movies are The Post, and then Den of Thieves, and then Phantom Thread. So I'm going to give you those 3 reviews, and then we're going to talk a little bit of Star Wars and Sundance. So hang on tight. We got a lot to cover, and we're going to try and not take up too much time, but just enough time that it feels just right. Okay, here we go. So coming in at number 5, we have The Greatest Showman at $3 million. Number 4, The Post at $3,500,000. Number 3, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle at $4,850,000. Coming in at number 2 is 12 Strong at $5,660,000. And number 1, with the same dollar amount so far, is Den of Thieves at $5,660,000. So if you're looking at that and you're going, well, how does one outrank the other when they both made the same? I am under the assumption that because Den of Thieves was playing in less theaters, 600 less theaters, that's why I got the bump. Because if you take into account an additional 600 theaters with ticket sales, that would put it over the edge. So in general, the only film on this list I haven't seen yet is 12 Strong. All the other films I've seen and reviewed. So if you're watching this right now on Facebook Live, thank you so much. I'm actually going to throw a link for the YouTube playlist for my movie reviews. And this is just movie reviews. I'm going to throw that in the comments section right now. And if you're watching this on YouTube replay, I will go ahead and throw a card up right here, and you can just check that out, and that'll take you right to the playlist for just movie reviews. No movie news or anything like that. This is solely just reviews of movies that are either in theaters or were at the time that those reviews were recorded. So give me 1 second here, and I will throw that in the comments section for everybody. But in general, I'm not too surprised by the top 5 because as you'll hear in a little bit, Den of Thieves was actually surprisingly entertaining. It surprised me more than I thought it would, actually. And there we go. And if you click on that link in the comments section below on Facebook Live, that'll actually take you right to the playlist for just movie reviews. But that was actually a pretty good movie. Surprisingly, there's a few issues I had with it. We'll get into that in a minute. But overall, entertaining. 12 Strong looks like it's going to be, it looks like it's based on a true story, but to me, I feel like it's going to be more action-based. So it's going to be like a tribute to soldiers, but in like an action movie kind of way. So that could be fun. Jumanji, obviously, as you guys know, if you've seen my review or you've seen the movie, this is just a very wild, fun time at the movies. The Post, as you'll hear in a second, very good. And The Greatest Showman, look, I get that a lot of people love this. I thought it was okay. I thought it was just an entertaining, like, popcorn flick. That's like my 2 cents on it. But it's cool that it keeps making money because that means people are getting out and supporting, musicals, which is always important. So out of the top 5, not overly surprised about anything. It's a pretty diverse list of films, right? So you've got a musical in the top 5. You've got a dramatic Oscar contender with The Post. You've got a fun family film with Jumanji. 12 Strong, an action movie / biopic. And then Den of Thieves, a heist action movie. So there's a little variety in the top 5, which is kind of nice. Let's take a look at the top 10 and see if anything stands out. Liam Neeson's The Commuter still in the top 10. Insidious, Paddington 2, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and Forever My Girl all in the top 10. Paddington 2, last I checked, actually had a perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes. Let me just double check that right now because that was some pretty big news as far as I remember. Because the only other film that did that, if memory serves, is just digging deep into the memory box here, was one of the Toy Story films. It got a perfect score. So, kudos to Paddington 2. Now, I recently picked up Paddington. I went to the used bookstore, support local, and picked up a copy of Paddington on DVD so I can actually check that out before I go see Paddington 2. So, yeah, 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes. So, Paddington 2, killing it right now. So, my review will be going up for Paddington 2 here probably next week, or for Paddington next week, and then I can get out to the theaters to see Paddington 2 and then throw that up on the channel as well. So, stay tuned for that. All right, let's go ahead and move into, just real quick, some non-spoiler reviews for 3 films that I saw. These 3 movies are all going to be dropping on the YouTube channel this Monday, and that is The Post, Den of Thieves, and Phantom Thread. So, The Post, I went in, I was expecting a dramatic piece. I was expecting lots of incredible acting. I didn't really know what to expect from a story because it's a story about a newsroom. It's a story about should we or should we not publish a news story that right now is being challenged by the current administration, which at that time was the Nixon administration. So I was like, I don't really know. It's getting pretty positive buzz online, but I don't really know like what and where the drama really will be. And should I print this story and go against the government or possibly get in trouble by the government or not? I wasn't like sure on how it was going to work out. The story actually really well done. And as you'll hear in my review on Monday on the brand new episode, the major points that they make in the trailers actually kind of feel like a subplot to the characters that Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep play. Because the movie's really about the journey that those two go on and how they have to like work together and work with all of these other people in their life to try and figure out what is the right thing to do as far as like what does freedom of the press and the First Amendment mean to them, etc. Really great film. Walked out of the theater completely blown away and surprised by just how enjoyable and how phenomenally done this film was. Steven Spielberg knocked it out of the park. There's a lot of really cool cinematography in this. In my review, I talk about how it literally looks like this film, while it's made in the 1970s, it doesn't look like a modern film today made about 1970s. It literally looks like Steven Spielberg just like plucked the film right out of 1971 and then gave it to us. Like, it just is a really well shot film, really good story. There's a lot of humor in it, surprisingly, because in the trailers, it doesn't look like there's going to be any humor. It's just like tense, drama. But Tom Hanks has some incredible one-liners. There's just zingers that literally had me laughing out loud in the theater. It was fantastic. Can't recommend The Post enough. It's a very dramatic film, but again, there is enough comedy in it that provides some levity, so you're not just like being beat down with drama the entire time. So definitely recommend The Post. Go check it out. And again, Steven Spielberg knocks it out of the park. The film looks great too. So coming up next is Den of Thieves. I went and saw that, and I walked in with an expectation of, I just want to see a film that is an action heist film. Like, I wasn't expecting a lot from the characters. I wasn't expecting a lot from the story. I was just like, look, if this film can deliver on just a fun action meets heist or heist meets action film, I'll be happy. And it does. It does. It does. There's a couple things in it. The consistency I had some problems with as far as like the pacing and everything else goes for the story, because there's scenes in the film that I don't think need to be in the film. Most of Gerald Butler's stuff is really good, but as you'll hear in my review on Monday, there's entire scenes that he has with his family. Cut those out. Like, those should have been dropped on the editing board. Just shuffle those right onto the floor. Like, we don't need them. They don't do anything for the plot. They don't do anything for the story. Like, yes, they show us a little bit more about who his character is, but it doesn't do anything for the movie. The main plot, the driving force behind this film is, good guys trying to catch bad guys. And the stuff he has with his family doesn't do anything for that plot. Like, it doesn't impede his ability to do his job. There's no stumbling blocks or roadblocks or anything like that because of what goes on with his family in this film. It's just like, yeah, here's some stuff, and now we're back to the movie. So they could have tightened the story up a little bit, I felt, by getting rid of all of those scenes. And then, we could have had just strictly a heist action film. The action scenes looked really good. It looked like old school action scenes. You got a lot of guns going off, explosions, etc. There's a nice little twist at the end that some people may see as predictable. Other people may not. I am going to recommend that you guys go check this out in the theaters. Do it for a matinee price, though, so before noon, so it's cheap. Because it is a fun action heist flick, and there's a nice little at the end that makes you go, oh, they really were paying attention to the story. So check out Den of Thieves. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, because when I walked out, I was like, wow, they really put some thought into this story, but they could have cut a couple things out to tighten everything up and to make the film less runtime than it was, because I felt like it was a little longer than it needed to be. So coming up next is Phantom Thread. I just saw this yesterday, and I have been waiting for this film since last year. It came out in December because they wanted to get Oscar consideration for it, but it was limited release, so it was not available to us in our market out here. So finally got out to see that, and wow. I do not understand. Now, we've got on this show and on the YouTube show, the weekly show, we've gone over the awards so far, like the Directors Guild, the Producers Guild, the Writers Guild. We covered Critics' Choice Awards. We even covered Golden Globes. We've covered all these things, and Phantom Thread has not really been getting the notoriety that I feel it deserves. This movie is so good. I just walked out of the theater and I was like, the end of the film, you would not expect a twist to happen in this film. At least I didn't. And there's a nice little twist at the end that just literally everybody in the theater had an audible reaction. They were either talking, they were gasping, they were just like, oh my goodness. They were just doing that like laugh thing that people do when they're surprised. This movie is so good. It's shot so brilliantly. The more I think about this film, the more I love it. I had such high expectations for this film walking into the theater, and my goodness, did this overperform on my expectations. Phantom Thread is by far the best film I've seen this year so far. We're only a couple weeks into January, so let's not get carried away with that. But I just absolutely wonderful. So check out Phantom Thread. Definitely recommend you guys get out to the theater to see this for sure, because this movie is spectacular. So there's your 3 non-spoiler reviews. Again, that was The Post, go see it. Den of Thieves, go see it. And Phantom Thread, go see it. So in short, go see all 3 films that we'll be reviewing on Monday's show on YouTube. All right, moving forward now, we're going to take just a quick look at some of the Sundance coverage. Now, excuse me. I've been following a lot of, like, every news site has been posting about, hey, these are the people we're sending to Sundance. And they put it on Twitter and they say, like, follow these handles on Twitter. So I was like, yes. So I've been getting a lot of, like, updates on Twitter about what's going on at Sundance. And there's a couple things that have stood out to me out of what everybody there is posting about consistently. Like, everybody seems to be in agreement. So I was like, well, I'm going to just cover those real quick on this show so that you guys might get excited like I'm excited when these things finally do drop in theaters for everybody to see. So first is the Robin Williams documentary. Now, I don't know if you guys were aware, but there's a documentary coming out that is about Robin Williams and his life and everything else. Robin Williams, huge influence on me growing up. That opening scene, or not the opening scene, but all of the openings that he does in Good Morning Vietnam, the scene when he's on the back of the truck and he's talking to all the soldiers in the field. So good. If you haven't seen Good Morning Vietnam, definitely check it out. But all of Robin Williams' films, just Patch Adams, even Patch Adams I like. All of his films, just great, great work. This man was a brilliant comedian and actor, and just sad what happened to his life and kind of where things led him. So a talent taken way too soon, that's for sure. But there's a documentary coming out, and I wanted to share a couple of tweets that I saw on Twitter regarding this film, Come Inside My Mind. So as you can see here, a couple different people posting about it, and all of it, as you can see, is really positive. So I think that's definitely something that we should be paying attention to. Matt Goldberg says now he's in line for Come Inside My Mind. It makes him smile because he thinks Robin Williams would immediately start making fun of that title. I agree with him. Just saw Come Inside My Mind at Sundance. Beautiful, hilarious, and haunting. A film I will remember. Dan Casey says it was a beautiful examination of a man for whom spreading joy was lifeblood. His face hurts from smiling and his head hurts, or his heart hurts from his absence. Agree with that 100%. Come Inside My Mind, an incredible tribute to maybe the first comedian that Eric Childress ever knew, an examination of humor and a source of joy and healing for a defense. The need for it so often felt within him as well as us. Magenta says, docs included will be Won't You Be My Neighbor about Mr. Rogers, the Mr. Rogers, and the Heartbreaker, Come Inside My Mind. Tissues required for both. So it looks like these are going to be tugging on the heartstrings as we would expect. And then lastly, we had just left the premiere of Robin Williams' Come Inside My Mind. So good. Run to your couch once it's on HBO. So there you have it. There is 6 tweets from 6 folks that are out in the field at Sundance that just got to see that film. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. The Mr. Rogers thing has been getting some positive buzz. So I'm not surprised by that. Everybody knows Mr. Rogers, Won't You Be My Neighbor, etc. So curious to see kind of what that film is going to be and what it looks like and everything else once it's available. And then there was another film that came out called Juliet Naked, which has Chris O'Dowd in it, who's been getting a little bit more acting gigs. He was in A Monster Calls. He was also, or was it A Monster Calls? I believe it was A Monster Calls. He's in the IT crowd. That's where I first got to know this guy. He's just a very funny comedian. And give me 1 second. I looked this up here. He's just a really funny comedian, comedic actor rather. And I've been enjoying his work more and more as he kind of pops into the scene, because it seems to be unexpected from, at least as far as I can tell. So let me pull it up here real quick. He's going to be in Christopher Robin. His character name is Duncan in Juliet Naked. He was in the Get Shorty TV series. He's in Molly's Game. Loving Vincent. Oh no, it wasn't Mrs. Monster Calls. It was Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. St. Vincent as well. He's just a really talented comedic actor that's starting to get some more work. So I think that's definitely cool. So check out Juliet Naked once that starts to drop, because it looks like the film is actually going to be really good from what we're seeing online right now from all the folks at Sundance. So there's a little Sundance coverage for you. Next up, we're going to talk about Star Wars The Last Jedi. Now, this film, I don't know if this film is doing so well because the film is really that good, or if there's been so much polarizing discussions online about it that people just keep going out to the theater to see it because they want to be part of the conversation. Because it's according to Forbes this morning, it is moving towards a global total of $1.3 billion. It's looking to trump the Avengers. So I just look, the movie's fine. Is it $1.3 billion fine? I don't think so. I really don't. There's issues I had with the film. There's stuff I loved about the film. Overall, I was just like, yeah, that was a fine movie. I'm not really changing my position on that just because of how much money it's making. That would be ludicrous. But $1.3 billion for this film, I rub my head in confusion. But hey, look, people love it, and that's awesome. And there's people that hate it, and that's okay too. Like I said, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm just going, yeah, it was a fine film. 1.3 billion going to beat the Avengers. I don't understand how that's possible because I personally don't think this film is better than the Avengers. So, but hey, Luke is back and yeah, so maybe that's why, because everyone's like, yeah, it's Luke Skywalker, but then yeah, whatever. Anyway, if you want my full review, I'll throw the card up right here on YouTube replay for the Star Wars The Last Jedi because 1.3. Anyway, if you want more, I've been listening to, trying to catch up with actually podcasts because I'm super far behind in all my podcasts. So I was pulled up a bunch of podcasts to try and listen to what other people thought about Star Wars The Last Jedi. I was just like, am I off base? Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's just okay. So I was like, am I off base? What's everybody else out there saying about this film? Got my reviews up. I was like, I got to catch up with stuff. I'm super far behind. So here's a couple of the podcasts that I would recommend taking a listen to. Each one is a little different in their delivery. Some are family friendly. Some are definitely not family friendly. Because when I say family friendly, I mean use of swear words, etc. So we go from like a PG rating to an R rating real quick between some of these podcasts. So first up is Steel Wars Star Wars podcast. You can find these all on there. Steel Wars is a podcast that is literally just about Star Wars. I've actually met this guy twice. He's a really nice guy, and he is a super Star Wars fan. He gives 3 different, and I'm behind, so I don't know if he's posted more, but at the time I heard 3 different reviews that he did with 3 different people for Star Wars The Last Jedi. So check that out. Also, now this is podcasting. It's a little over 2 hours. It's a review. It's a bunch of guys sitting in the room. One of the guys I met at a convention, he's a really big Star Wars guy too. So check that out if you have the time. Again, it's a little bit longer. Film Threat, and that's Chris Gore. They posted one that it wasn't that long. I think it was maybe an hour if memory serves. But they give a completely different take on things from their point of view, going all the way back to like some of the other stuff with the other films. So check that out. Collider. Now on this one, if you go to the Collider podcast, you're going to have to search for Jedi Council because that's where they're going to do their reviews on that one. So check that one out. That one is definitely family friendly. So you can pull that up and you can hit that. And you don't need to worry about language or anything like that for Jedi Council. But again, you're going to want to go to the Collider and then go to Jedi Council to find that. And then Abnormal Entertainment, this one, another one that is going to be more adult. But for Abnormal Entertainment, just like Collider, you can't just go to the page and then pull it up because it won't be there. You got to go to the page and look for Cinema Head Cheese, just like you have to go to Collider and look for Star Wars Jedi Council. So on Abnormal Entertainment, you're going to search for the Cinema Head Cheese Pod Short, and that's going to cover Star Wars The Last Jedi. So those are the 5 podcasts right now I'm going to recommend. Again, each one gives a very different opinion about the film. Overall, though, all of them are in agreement that the film is enjoyable to some degree or another. So check those out. And I think you guys will have a pretty good time, especially if you like Star Wars. Check these 5 out. All right. So that pretty much wraps up this week's, that wraps up today's Facebook Live right here on Facebook. This is Brunansky's Vlog live on Facebook. So thank you guys so much for watching if you watch live. If you are watching this on the YouTube replay, thank you so much as well. If you guys enjoyed any portion of today's episode, go ahead and give me that thumbs up, because that helps people who like movie-related shows find us here on Facebook and on YouTube. We're going to go ahead and get out of here, but first I'm going to check the board to see if we have any questions about anything before we get going here. So give me 1 second. All right. Excuse me. Nothing yet. All right. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let's see here. They didn't get the money from China. Christopher Walton says, that is true. Star Wars The Last Jedi definitely did not get any money from China. So you are right, Chris. They are really struggling in the Chinese marketplace as far as moviegoing is concerned for Star Wars The Last Jedi. So thank you for that comment. All right, we are going to get out of here. I got to do some more edits for Monday's episode. Again, Monday, 10 a.m. PST on YouTube will be Brunansky's Vlog's brand new episode. So stay tuned for that. You'll get the full reviews for the 3 movies I gave non-spoiler reviews for today on Monday's episode. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, I got more work I got to do for YouTube for Monday's episode. And we will see you Monday at 10 a.m. PST on YouTube for a brand new episode of Brunansky's Vlog. And then right after that, we will be right back here on Facebook Live to talk weekend box office and maybe 1 or 2 news stories that dropped, or maybe some more Sundance coverage. If like some really cool things pop off and everybody starts talking about it, we'll spread the love by sharing those stories with you here on Facebook Live. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Hope you guys are able to get out to see the movies. If you do, throw your thoughts in the comments below about the films you saw and share your opinion with the movie fan community here on this page. Or if you're on YouTube Live, same thing for you. Throw those comments in the comment box below, and we will go ahead and keep the conversations going until Monday's episode. All right, everybody, take care. Have a great week. See ya Monday, 10 a.m. PST, brand new episode. Bye-bye. Hi, everybody. I'm Jeremy Brunansky, and you've just finished watching a Facebook Live replay. Now, if you enjoyed that, you may also want to check out the weekly show playlist, as well as the movie news playlist, which covers just the news segments from every Monday's episode. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and click that subscribe. We'll see you guys next Monday right here on YouTube for a brand new episode of Brunansky's Vlog at 10 a.m. PST. Have a great week. Take care.